Right. Yeah. So it's interesting because how things change market to market. So when you're a buyer, and you come to us, we really try to make sure that there's a full understanding of what to expect, not only from us, but what to expect of like within the process. So what we'll do is we actually first sit down, we have a buyer consultation. There's some things that now have to be done documentation wise in advance due to new regulation within the real estate industry. Won't bore you with that, but there's some new regulations that we have to follow. So there'll be some documents that need to be taken care of up front. But then we walk you through step by step. This is what we're going to do so that you understand, and we're setting the expectations with you on how the process will go. And we sit down and we outline all of that. This is what we're going to do. These are the steps. This is how it goes, et cetera, et cetera. And then the question becomes, are you good with that? Do you want to work with us? The answer is yes, then great. Then we're working together. If not, that's fine. We'll shake hands, go our separate ways. We just don't want any surprises once you get through the process of like, well, I didn't realize this is what happens. Yeah. So we do that up front. Then we get into looking at real estate. Okay. What's interesting is before any of that happens, generally there's a phone conversation that will happen with the client that you're working with. And they're going to ask you a series of questions. They're not asking them just to be nosy, but they're pre-qualifying you from the standpoint of not financially, but what are you looking for? What do you want to accomplish? What's your goal here? It's important for us. We have to know that. It's not about us. It's not about us getting another transaction. It's about you and what you're trying to accomplish as a buyer. And we want to make sure that you hit the mark, or that we hit the mark for you, so that you're getting what it is that you're setting out to get. So in order to do that, we'll ask a series of questions about, where you're looking, your timelines, how long you've been looking, if it's been a while, what's caused you not to be able to buy a property yet. Okay, so we're actually going to kind of dig into a little bit of what's happened if this has been a long process for you. If you're just getting started, okay, like this is exciting. What do you know about what's going on in the market? So there's a conversation that happens before you even come down into the office and before we even sit down and go through the process of what we're going to go through. It's not long. It doesn't take a long period of time. It might sound like a lot, but that's kind of the opening round, if you will. And then once we start looking at property, really what happens is we try to show about 3 or 4 properties before making the decision. Based upon the information that our clients give us, we're going to pick the 3 or 4, maybe 5 best properties out there based upon the criteria. And we're going to go through that. You'll probably receive them in advance. If for whatever reason you don't, we pick the 3 or 4 or 5 best ones because we don't want you to think, well, is there anything else out there? So we let you know in advance. We're going to pick the best properties based upon your criteria. We go look. We're going to ask you if you like one of them and which one do you want to buy? Because that's what you're here to do, right? You're not necessarily here to shop. You're taking the time out of your busy schedule, your day, your weekend. You might have taken a day off from work. You have something you want to accomplish. We want to make sure that we are going to meet those, that desire. We're going to also meet those expectations and find you the right property so that you can make a decision while you're here. Yep. So that's pretty much the process. And then we go through the contracts. We walk you through the contract step by step. We negotiate on your behalf. And then once that happens, then Mary then takes over the file along and works with us in conjunction to then close the process.